What is up, my people? Playing some more Living End. I'm going to treat this video differently. I'm going to do some more jump cutting, try to get the video length down. Opponent opens on Sacred Foundry into Ocelot Pride. In order to slow them down, I'm going to Subtlety that. Charlotte's Agent, that's good. I'll keep that there. And it's our worst case scenario. They did have a Johnny. Force Cycle. Get Breeding Pool. Play Breeding Pool. Opponent attacks for 2. Cycle to Avon. Bolt ourselves and cast Charlotte's Agent. Opponent surveils. They leave the card on top. Cast Living End. And the opponent has Thraben Charm, but this at least gets rid of a Johnny. Our opponent plays Goblin Bombardment, and I think we have to force that. Attack with Shardless Agent. Cycle Street Wraith and get the Riverwinder. I think I'll just pass the turn. Opponent surveils. And plays a Lightning. Army of 1. We'll see if we can get something for that. It does not have haste, though. All right. I'm going to pass the turn and plant a chump block. No follow-up. Take Hedge Maze, bin the Subtlety. Surveil. Put the Int into the graveyard. And cast Shardless Agent. Hoping to dodge another Thraben Charm. Thraben Charm, dodged. Done. No need to target anything. What is it waiting for? Done. Okay. They discharge the Waker of Waves. Dealing 4, and then they do nothing. I think the opponent's plan there was to get enough cards in their graveyard to get Flage online if they were to surveil one. It's not a terrible play, but I think I still would have targeted something that discharge could kill. And sadly, I don't have good attacks here yet. If I let them flip... Okay, that makes our attacks way better. Now I think it's pretty simple. We just send a Johnny back to their hand and attack with everybody. Swing with the team. This does send them to 2. Now they have no board. Our opponent has a Flage. In order to prevent anything goofy from happening, I'm just going to eat the food now. I think that's a better play than using Curator to dig for a subtlety. Yeah, they don't have the mana. They need 2 more lands to rebuy that Flage. Alright, you know the drill. In come 2 Teferi and Foundation Breaker. Out comes, on the draw, Waker, Aven. This hand's pretty reasonable. It's got 3 lands and Force of Negation. And a Cascade spell. Opponent plays Ghost Vacuum. We can just eat that up with Foundation Breaker. Charlotte's Agent is a good draw there. I think I'm going to top that land. Opponent plays a dashed Ragavan. That's fine. That's not the most threatening creature they could have played. The treasures are nice for them. It allows them to keep up more instant speed plays if we commit to a living end. They hit... What they hit? Oh, they hit our forest. Okay, well, whatever. We weren't expecting the dashed Ragavan. And we still have a play. Yes, pay 3 life. Evoke. We're going to click on the evoke trigger first. That way they don't have an opportunity. Oh no, I targeted the treasure token. Oh no, I hate these alternate art cards. Well, sure, I'll use the ability. Gosh, oh my god. I can't stand all these freaking artworks they put on cards. That looks as much like a token as the token did. That was so stupid of me. Well, we might have just donated a free win to our opponent. We'll see if we can get ourselves out of it. All right, I've had enough. Okay. I want Street Wraith back in. I want Press the Enemy out. Finally, we get to play first. And I will keep that. That's got answer for Bombardment and Ghost Vacuum. I'm going to start on Misty and take some damage here. Opponent plays a Ragavan. I'm going to look for white mana. Is it worth it actually to play around Blood Moon? No, I don't think so. Yes, cycle. Good draw. I get to spend 6 mana before they get to cast Blood Moon. Okay. There's another good draw. I will Breeding Pool because I want to cycle another Curator. So pretty much only Thraben Charm gets them out of this. Or they could ramp into a Blood Moon. Yeah, that was bad land management by me. Should have gotten a forest. Alright, opponent is clearly holding up Thraben Charm, so I'm not going to commit any more to the graveyard. I can't cast Endurance anymore. I played the wrong land, so I will show some of my graveyard. to a Thraben Charm. Or do they just have Orange Chant? And I know it's Orim's Chant. I just enjoy saying Orange Chant. N-O. And I will not be letting this Ragavan hit me. They discharge the Shardless Agent, going back to 1 mana source. They go back to 2 mana sources. And they go up to their 3rd here, so they could Blood Moon us. It's just Deafening Silence, so we're good. There's a basic forest, so we always had it. I'm going to leave Curator of Mysteries in my hand in case they have Orim's Chant here. Shardless Agent is a creature spell, so the Deafening Silence counter hasn't started yet. And then they might exile my graveyard here. That's fine. That happens. Cycle. See what we draw. And I'm just going to put maximum pressure in play. Tuck their graveyard so they can't cast any Flages anytime soon from their graveyard. And if Deafening Silence ever is a problem, I can get rid of it with Boseiju. Alright, hopefully this is enough to do it. Guide of Souls and Ragavan. Flash Creature would be great here. I'm not going to use Street Wraith, and instead what I'm going to do... So what can they attack for next turn? They can attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the counters. And then, like, if they have Flage, we're at 2, so I should not use Street Wraith. If I attack them, this is 7, 8, 9. That's a 2-turn clock. So I'm going to attack them for everything. And I'm just going to hang out. The reason I didn't bother leaving Shardless Agent back was because he can give a flying counter with Guide of Souls if he has one more creature. They don't have another creature. They attack with Ragavan. Ragavan hits us and gets Street Wraith, which they can't cast. Goblin Bombardment isn't that good, but it is worth a Boseiju. Cancel. Do it on their end step. They already have enough lands, so I'm not worried about giving them more mana here. And I do get a nice Scry trigger, which I don't know if I've ever remembered in paper. Bottom that. I don't need any more land. They get the Elegant Parlor. And they bin Thraben Charm, which could be used to take out all of our creatures right now. Windcaller Aven is nice. Is that just lethal? I think it is. I think my neighbor just shot off a firework. We shall target Endurance. And if the top of our library is good, we could draw it with Street Wraith. But we get there anyway, 1-0. See you in the next round. What's good, people? Back for round two. Hopefully going for a 5-0 this league. And this hand's pretty great. Goblin Guide, well, we're not going to get a better opportunity, most likely. I think I'm just going to pitch a Shardless here. This is Burn, it looks like, so the name of the game is just keep our life total high, no matter the cost. All right, I'm going to play the Painless Land and hope to just naturally hit a third land. Cycle the more expensive card. And I think I will pitch to top that again. I found him played Fiery Islet. I wonder if that means they're a Prowess deck. That could just be a draw spell for the burn player. Street Wraith, we're only going to use that if we have to. All right, I don't need that. I'm going to see if I can put a land on top with my Surveil. I will get the Lush Portishead here. Bottom the Force of Negation. So now we need a land, and we got two. We have two looks at it. Critics are skewered. Goblin Guide could draw us a land. Nice. I'm gonna hang on to the Street Wraith. I don't need it. Will not be casting a free shock for my opponent. They don't have any creatures in their graveyard to worry about. I'm going to get an island in case I draw Force of Negation. I don't need to top that. I think we're all done here. Even if opponent has Bolt, 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 which they can't because they have 0 cards in hand, we're going to win. Bomat Courier. I like that they're playing that card. That's another card that's not Lightning Bolt. Boom, there's that Force of Negation. It's not lethal if I attack with everything anyway, so I'm going to leave back a blocker. A Rift Bolt enters the exile zone. That is not going to be fast enough. Now we attack with everybody. All right, on to sideboard. Out comes Street Wraith. In comes Foundation Breaker. Teferi. Commandeer as just a counter spell. And let's go another Teferi. This hand's pretty good. It's got a turn 3 Cascade, as long as I draw a land. And I can pitch this Commandeer to one of these subtleties. So this isn't the best hand, but it's pretty painless. And it can interact with our opponent. Do I care about that? I could Commandeer that. I think I should. And I'm going to pitch subtlety, and just kind of bank on putting creatures in my graveyard somehow. I don't care if Commandeer gets exiled. Now, our opponent could follow up with the play that makes us regret that, but they did mulligan, so we're each on 5 cards right now. Subtlety was a good draw there, too. And I can just sacrifice this to draw a card later. So that's really more like a force of negation. Riftbolt. All right, so Teferi's going to be a turn 2 late if we draw one. But that's one of the reasons I like bringing Teferi in. You can just snipe their Rift Bolts. All right, I will play the Pain Land tapped. And then if they put any creatures on the stack, we'll sack Soul Guide Lantern. I don't know the Great River will be bad here. I'm going to sacrifice Soul Guide Lantern, see if I can force this. All right, there's a third land that allows us to cast Endurance eventually. Firebolt. Yep, Firebolt. Interesting card choices from our opponent. Boom. I played the wrong land there, but I've still got... I'm going to top that. And I still have double blue next turn anyway because I drew this basic. All right, so if we just survive for a turn here, we're looking pretty good. Well, that's pretty painful from our opponent. We do get to tuck this Firebolt. It is 5 damage, or 5 mana to flashback, but we do get to tuck it back into their library, which I think I will do. All right, let's just pass the turn and see what they do. Actually, no. I have a better idea. Let's get this tree back so we can get that food token. They don't have any creatures in the graveyard. And we're covered against creatures and non-creature spells here. I'm not going to subtlety that, though. I think I'll top the Sky Turtle. And before they can get Skullcrack, I'm going to gain the life. And I'm not going to attack yet. Bomat, Courier, whatever. I'm willing to let a Swift Spear hit us without Prowess. All right, now we're looking really good. So we can cast Force, Subtlety, or Endurance, leaving any pitch spell up. Cast the Endurance, target their graveyard, and I think I'm going to block the Prowess creature. They might get to cash in this Bomat Courier, and if that happens, so be it. The Prowess creature was representing more damage there if they had, like, lightning bolts. Do I just cast? Well, what do I do here? Yeah, I think if I cast the Generous Ent, it's going to be hard to lose. I'm just going to attack with one creature. It's only 2 less damage, and it gives me more opportunities to block if they, like, flood the board. And then this gets a food token online for next turn. I've still got free spells in my hand. If they have 2 lightning bolts here, then they got us. All right. Do they have a lightning bolt? No, they don't, because they need another land. All right, now we're safe from 1 lightning bolt. If they have 2, they've got us. Well, we have to force that. Pitching the turtle. Hopefully they drew another creature. Or just things they can't do. And then we have got lethal here. Start by eating our food. Always eat food. Huh, usually Generous Ent makes the spider food, like the mummy token, but this one makes the bread with jam and cheese. That's not the best hand, but I'll keep it at game 1 since I don't know what we need, and we do have a subtlety with a card that I don't mind pitching. Surveil. I'll put Force of Negation on top. That's good against most of the format. Even against something like Energy, we're going to be happy to have that, I believe. Opponent plays Bloodstained Mire and does nothing. Gonna force cycle for a Lush. Hopefully they're not a Blood Moon deck, but I do have force if they are. I'll keep that. We kind of want to hit our 4th mana. It's not totally clear yet what we need to be worried about. All right, Thundering Falls. This looks like Prowess or Storm. In either case, I'm very happy I kept that Force of Negation on top. This could also be Zoo. Dragon's Rage Channeler makes it look like Prowess. Okay, if they put a creature on the stack, I think I'll subtlety it and then living in next turn. Corey Steelcutter, I'm just going to force that. I know I have Living End in my hand, but Press the Enemy is a terrible spell. All right. Let's just put some pressure in play. I'm only getting a Tree Folk out of this. However, they're tapped out. They are a Spell Pierce deck. So I think getting something that can attack is pretty useful. And the next turn I can hold up Subtlety. Let me know if you would have played that differently. They tap out for an expressive iteration. Surveil a land. Exile Mishra's Bauble. I'm going to cast another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Now they get 2 looks at Delirium here. They top all of it, so they want that card on top. And then they can draw it. Hope I draw another land here, actually. Alright, Ardent Plea, not the best. Going to attack. And there's nothing subtle about this play. Opponent casts Swift Spear. No thank you. And that gives us an attacker that can go over the Dragon's Rage Channelers as well. Opponent casts a second Swift Spear. Attacks with nothing and passes the turn. Using Street Wraith here is dangerous, but I would like to know what I'm going to get. I would like to get some more cards. All right, well, I don't know if I want to use that Street Wraith yet. I will attack for 4. And because I have this generous Ent with Reach and the food token, I'll cycle the Street Wraith. Okay. I think that's just better. So the problem is if I let them have another turn, they might use Dragon's Rage Channeler to fill up their yard with creatures. So what's better? 2 Street Wraiths and a Shardless Agent versus nothing, and a possible Slickshot show off? Yeah, I think I'll actually take my chances with that. I had Ardent Plea that whole time. However, trading 2 creatures for 2 creatures wasn't that good, but now that I get to board wipe and have 3 creatures, and now I'm done living ending for the game. Yeah, they have Violent Urge. I forced them to do it now. And they're going to try to surveil some creatures into their graveyard. Lightning Bolt, that's no good. Lightning Bolt, I'm glad they didn't draw that. Violent Urge goes to the graveyard. They Mutagenic Growth. Oh, look at these cards we're getting out of their hand. Preordain into graveyard. They're trying to put a Slickshot show off in the graveyard, and it doesn't work. All right, we win the game. All right, against them, I want Teferi, Teferi, Mystical, Mystical. I'll go Mystical. And I'm going to resist the urge over sideboard here. I'm going to take out 3 Wakers because they're slow. Windcaller, Street Wraith, press the enemy. Oh, I need to put a card back. I guess I'll put a Windcaller back. That's a decent hand. I do need to find more lands, but I've got Force to protect myself from a Core Steelcutter. Opponent plays a land and passes. I will do likewise. Drawing an Ardent Plea there was terrible. So I'm going to have to damage myself, most likely. And if they Core Steelcutter here, I'm going to force it. Pitching Ardent Plea. Nope, they just exiled the show off. Okay. Let us hedge maze. Land on top, I'll take that. And I'm going to play that land because I need some velocity to hit more lands. The odds of us getting off a Mystical Dispute this turn are low, but never zero. If they go to Expressive Iteration, I would cast Mystical Dispute. If they cast the show off, I'm going to cycle looking for Subtlety. Well, similar idea. I'm going to look for Subtlety. Another Charlotte's Agent I did not need. All right, there's the third land. Opponent taps all their mana. Going to force that. But I'm going to let that Surveil resolve. All right. Now we force. And now opponent's on Force of Negation or nothing. And if that's the case, they'll have one card in hand, they'll draw up to 2, and then I'll have another Cascade. And potentially Mystical backup on turn 4. The question here is, do I want to get a white mana and pay 3 life, or just play my life total real close? I don't think I care about this Ardent Plea at all. I think my plan is either just don't cast it or get lucky and pitch it to something later in the game. I don't think I have any plans that revolve around casting Ardent Plea. There's the show off. All right. And the Tormod's Crypt. But I can still at least board white. Opponent's going to get in for 3. The only thing that would make me fetch a white land here is if I draw Teferi. All right. Let's take 1, get Forest, and force them to pop that Tormod's Crypt. They have no creatures in the graveyard. Cast. Okay, we don't have any Street Wraiths, unfortunately. But we do board white. Then next turn we can untap and take on a control role as long as our opponent doesn't load up the board again with something. There's a Kori Steelcutter. I'm going to force that. Ardent Plea did its job. It was blue. And now we've got Mystical Dispute as just a straight up counter spell. Subtlety is pretty good draw. And now I will Mystical anything I can. Opponent appears to have drawn nothing. Wonder if they drew their counter spells. I'm not going to cycle Windcaller Aven. If I don't hit a land, then I'd have to... Well, actually... Yeah, I'm not going to cycle that. If they try to play a red card here, then Mystical's good. Alright, now Mystical can't counter a 1-drop. Now we cycle. If they bolt my creature, I still draw. The ability of flying is not linked to the card draw. There's a good draw. Now I think I will get Temple Garden and leave up Subtlety mana. Nice. So we're pretty safe here. And I'm never living ending again unless I get rid of their graveyard. Opponent has a Sacred Foundry in their deck. I wonder what that's for. Maybe for like a sideboard Deafening Silence or something. They Prismatic Ending. I'm just going to counter this. I might not get a chance to use Mystical again. So even though they paid blue for Prismatic Ending, the spell is not blue. And they Lightning Bolt. All right, we 2-for-1 them. No, we 2-for-2 them on that. Endurance would have been a sick draw there, but instead I'm just going to pass the turn. They drew a land. And now because I have another Subtlety, I'm going to cast this one. Just to get something in play to end the game. If I did not have another Subtlety, I don't think I would do that. Force Negation is a fantastic draw. I will risk the blue mana here to draw a card. Nice. Can save that for a Core Steel Cutter, or I could just play it now. I'll play that land. Don't need any more lands. Opponent plays a Swift Spear. I don't think so. Cast. Rio, let's go. Round 4 here. This isn't the best hand, but I'll keep it. Underground Mortuary. I wonder if this is the Yawgmoth. It's been a long time since I played against the Yawgmoth deck. Okay, in order to play around the card Emperor of Bones, I'm not going to put anything in my graveyard yet. I will force an Agatha's Soul Cauldron. If they play a creature, I'll probably, depending on what it is, I'll Street Wraith. Well, oh yeah, we're exiling that. And I don't think I need Press the Enemy. And I'm going to Force Cycle. I'll just get the Temple Garden here. That way I can use Waker. Oh, well, that was the wrong land. Anyway. Still going to get untap. I got confused about which cycle I was doing. There's excellent draw. All right. Opponent plays Urza Saga, but it's probably too late for that to take over the game unless they're able to disrupt our first living end. Opponent casts Grist the Hunger Tide. I'll look for a subtlety. I can't force it. Guess I'll just take the land. That's going to resolve. And because I'm going to wipe away this creature, they won't be able to use this as removal next turn unless they cast a creature. Just going to take the damage and cast Ardent Plea. And I will subtlety pretty much any creature now. Shifting Woodlands. Okay, they're a Delirium combo deck, it looks like. So do I want my Clarion Conquerors for this matchup? It doesn't stop Urza's Saga. It doesn't stop Shifting Woodland. Soul Cauldron sucks. Hate that card, but I have Boseiju for it. They go to 1. There's no creatures in graveyards. They have Chord of Calling also. Alright, there's that Blade. They equip. And they Walking Ballista for 0. Just gonna counter that. I don't know what they're doing with this Walking Ballista. I'm sure there's some combo with Soul Cauldron and Blade of the Blood Chief. So I don't want it to hit play. Okay. So something I can do is make sure that Grist dies. I mean, what's the most important thing here? I'm going to send our 2 biggest creatures at Grist, the other 2 at him. I've got this bounce spell up. And they block. Okay. They put a counter. I still don't think that's very threatening. I could Boseiju this Blade, but the problem is they get another one here with Urza's Saga. So I think I might be better off bouncing the token. How close are they to Delirium? They have Enchantment Land, Creature, Planeswalker, Instant. They got Delirium. So he can make a copy of Grist. It will enter with no counters on it, so it would die immediately. Is that how that works? Okay, do I bounce that creature now? so it can't make another token. I think I do. This is such a confusing deck. Okay, so they need to produce a creature of some sort. They've produced the creature, and now it has the Grist Plus. But I can Beseiju the Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So as annoying as this is, I think I can solve this problem. Or I could just Beseiju the Walking Ballista. What's going on? He grows the creature. Do I just lose here? He's got 2 blades. It doesn't have a counter on it though, so that one can't activate the ability. And now I think... Do I need to leave back a blocker? Is there a world where he can make an infinitely large creature that I could block? I think I should leave back a blocker. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No. I'm putting maximum pressure. This way he has to block or he can't fetch. He blocks the biggest one. So that gets some counters on it. And then I'm going to destroy the Soul Cauldron. Is there any reason to wait on destroying the Soul Cauldron? He'll get another creature. He'll get the exile Walking Ballista. So yes, I'm going to do this now. And hopefully this Force of Negation can carry us. Gets another Underground Mortuary. He left the card on top. That's not good. Yes, we at least get to use our Force. Okay. And I'm just going to pass. I can't do anything else. And we win. Nice. All right. Against this guy, we want all the hate. I don't think Commandeer is good. I don't think Inevitable is good. I think I want Clarion, the artifact stuff. I think I want Street Wraith. Waker seems kind of irrelevant. None of his creatures need to attack to win. Ditto Riverwinder. Keep Avon. Goodbye, press the enemy. Actually, I think I'll take out Ardent Plea for Once Fairy. If I had one land, I would keep this hand, but I can't, so I'm going to mulligan. That's pretty good. I don't need 2 Clarion Conquerors, so I have a free putback here. Or maybe I do need 2 Clarion Conquerors. I don't know. Opponent has a leyline step, it looks like. Nope, no leyline. They lead on Misty, which is not Urza Saga, so that'll slow down their tutoring. Oh, opponent went to 5. I don't care about now Spellbomb at all. And that's a nice part about Luvinen now. It's such a good mid-range deck that Artifact Hate is, or I mean Graveyard Hate is often just not enough to beat you. I'll top that. And now I only want like really premium artifacts and enchantments. I don't even care about now Spellbomb with this Force of Vigor. There's one. I might do that, or I could just wait for his combo turn. Does this matter at all? I think I'd rather wait for Grist. Yeah, I'd rather wait for Grist. That being said, I will take the opportunity to kill these 2 artifacts and enchantments. I just want to slow him down while I set up this Clarion. He cannot pay the black, so no card draw there. Very nice, very nice. Gonna go get another Surveil land. And play it. Don't need that. And now Living End is back online because we got rid of that Spellbomb. I think I will Subtlety a Grist this turn, and then if he wants to replay it, it can't even do anything until he kills Clarion. Unfortunate, it has another Urza Saga. I would have preferred to hit 2 Urza Sagas, but that would allow him to make a big construct. Well, potentially big construct. What are you doing, Walking Ballista? You're Walking Ballista for 1. Okay. And by the way, we're going to shut down this wall of roots if Clarion sticks around. I'm going to go get Basic Forest. Press the enemy, not the worst draw. No, sorry, Basic Island. And hopefully this is just a lock. Opponent's on 1 card. He's got 2 creatures that he cannot activate the abilities of. And even if he were to get like Delirium and then have a Woodlands play, if he copied a creature or Planeswalker, yeah, it wouldn't matter. All right, what is this? Dredger's Insight. When it enters mill 4, artifact creature land into hand. So it's like a really good Satyr Wayfinder. Anyone remember Satyr Wayfinder? I missed that card. So what does he reveal? Halfling, Soul Cauldron, Ballista, Grist. That was a really good mill. But none of those activated abilities can be activated. What did he pick up? He picked up Soul Cauldron. Now he could theoretically pump a bunch of mana into Walking Ballista, and nothing in my hand can bounce my own. I'll play that. Nothing. Oh no, never mind. You can't. What am I talking about? Clarion Conqueror is so good. I was thinking maybe he could pump up his walking ballista and then ping it down, but he's going to have to put counters on it, and even then, you still can't use that ability. He does get an Urza Saga pop here. He's going to go get his blade, I bet, even though he can't equip it. Is there a one-mana artifact that could get him out of this? There's like Universal Solvent, but that costs 7 to activate, and it's an activated ability, and no one would ever play that deck. Vexing Bauble is a little too late, and also totally irrelevant this game. And note that I can press the enemy Vexing Bauble, and now that it's gone, cast Sink into Stupor on Thoughtseize. However, then he would just replay Thoughtseize and take my final card. So instead, what I'm going to do is just cast my creature and put the flyer in play. He's free to take either one of my bounce spells. All right. I will use my Street Wraith here. I feel pretty confident. Play the land. Attack with everybody. Now, if you did have like just some sort of Doom Blade for this Clarion Conqueror, I can bounce the spell, but I can't save Clarion Conqueror by bouncing it to my hand. All right, Boro. Round number 5. Going for the 5-0. All right, is this passable? It's got 3 lands and a living end. No force negation, no subtlety, and no cyclers. I'm going to mulligan that. That's much better. And I will keep, I'm going to put back Sink into Stupor, actually. I'm just going to lead on Boseiju, because I want to go 1, 2, 3 and spend my mana every turn. So I'm hoping he's like Boros Prowess, and then we can bounce something with the Sky Turtle on turn 2. Like an Ajani, hopefully. No, he's the Backstreet Boys. I'm still going to I'll get a Lush Portisha here. I'll give up on that dream. I'll play the Lush now. Oh, shoot. That means I can't. Darn, that was potentially bad. All right, never mind. I almost didn't have blue mana next turn, but I do. And then if he has like anything but Emperor of Bones here, we're doing pretty well. Now he could also have like Solitudes in his hand and just load up his graveyard with Solitudes. All right. Fortunately, I topped both of those Charlos agents. And now he cannot have Emperor of Bones in time. So he needs to have a handful of solitudes. And I'm probably just going to tap that plains. Yeah. I'll just cycle now, see if I can get a... Well, I already knew that was on top. And as cool as it would be to use that, I don't need to. Let's hope we're dealing with 1 or 0 solitudes. So he should discard the solitude now. Oh, he has nothing. Nice. That's so good for us. Opponent plays a regular solitude. He's not going to get it back.